The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened exactly 14 minutes after the scouting report landed on every homeworld simultaneously. Commander Vrek-9 of the Antarian Collective stood before the assembled representatives, all 6 of his tentacles trembling as he pulled up the holographic display. His voice carried the weight of genuine terror. Esteemed members, what I am about to show you will fundamentally alter our understanding of planetary threat assessments. A 3-dimensional image materialized above the council floor. Gasps, clicks, and various sounds of distress echoed through the chamber. The creature on display was massive, easily 3 times the size of a fully grown Antarian. Fur rippled across powerful muscles. Teeth, curved and serrated, lined a jaw capable of crushing bone. Claws extended from paws that could disembowel with a single swipe. This, Vrek-9 continued, his voice shaking, is what we have catalogued as species designation Panthera leo. The locals call them lions. They are the apex predator of Earth's primary landmass regions. Ambassador Quilven from the Spiral Reaches leaned forward, her crystalline eyes widening. And the humans? How do they avoid these monsters? Vrek-9's tentacles coiled tighter. That is precisely why we are here. Initial projections suggested that human civilization must exist in fortified zones, carefully avoiding territories where these predators hunt. We theorized elaborate defense systems, perhaps energy barriers or automated deterrent weapons. And, prompted High Chancellor Morvik, his scales shifting to an anxious shade of purple. And we were catastrophically wrong. The hologram shifted. Now it showed one of the lions, but something was different. Horrifyingly different. A human child, no more than half the size of the beast, sat directly beside it. The child's small hand rested on the predator's manner. The lion's eyes were half closed. It appeared to be purring. By the 7 moons, whispered someone from the back rows. Vrek-9 pulled up another image. This one showed a human male, arms wrapped entirely around a lion's neck in what the research team had identified as an embrace. The lion's tongue was extended, licking the human's face. They call this behavior affection, Vrek-9 said, and he might have been about to vomit if Antarians were capable of such things. But it gets worse. Much worse. The next series of images made several council members actually stand up from their seats. Humans riding lions. Lions sleeping in human dwellings. A human female bottle feeding a lion cub, while 2 adult lions watched approvingly. What manner of mind control technology do they possess? Demanded General Thax of the warrior caste. None, Vrek-9 replied flatly. According to our xenobiologists, this is purely behavioral conditioning. They call it domestication. Silence. Domestication, repeated Ambassador Quilven. You mean they trained these killers? Not just trained. They formed emotional bonds with them. The humans claim that approximately 10,000 solar cycles ago, they took these apex predators and selectively bred them over countless generations, until the animals became dependent on human care and companionship. High Chancellor Morvik's scales had now turned a sickly yellow. So you are telling this council that humans looked at the most dangerous predator on their planet and decided to make it into a pet? Correct. But that is only the beginning of what we have discovered. Vrek-9 pulled up a new file, and this time his voice dropped to barely above a whisper. While investigating human settlements, we found other creatures. Smaller than the lions, but sharing remarkable similarities. Sharp teeth. Retractable claws. Enhanced night vision. Predatory instincts. We catalogued them as miniature hunting specialists. The hologram showed a smaller feline creature, sleek and dangerous looking despite its reduced size. And the humans, asked Quilven, though she already knew the answer and dreaded hearing it. There are approximately 600 million of these creatures living inside human homes. The humans call them cats. They are, according to our research, descended from similar apex predators. The humans domesticated them roughly 9,000 cycles ago. Inside their homes. General Thax looked genuinely confused. The predators live inside their dwellings. Voluntarily. Yes. And the humans feed them, care for them, and allow them to sleep in their beds. We have documented instances of humans spending enormous amounts of currency on medical care for these predators, on toys for them, on specialized food formulations. There is an entire economic sector of human civilization dedicated solely to the care and entertainment of these domesticated hunters. Ambassador Quilven stood up slowly. Commander Vrek-9, I need you to clarify something for me. Are you saying that humans share their living spaces with creatures designed by evolution to kill, and they do this willingly? For companionship? Yes. And these creatures, they do not attack the humans. Rarely. When they do, humans call it naughty behavior, and often blame themselves for not understanding the predator's mood signals. The council chamber erupted into chaos. Representatives were shouting in 17 different languages, demanding clarifications, calling for military assessments. suggesting immediate quarantine protocols for the entire human planet. Vrek-9 waited for the noise to die down before continuing. There is more. More? High Chancellor Morvik looked like he might molt right there on the council floor. We found another species. This one was harder to classify, because it did not fit our initial assumptions about Earth's ecosystem. Canines. Wolves. Some specimens weigh over 90 kilograms of pure muscle and possess bite forces that can crush bone. They hunt in coordinated packs, using complex tactical communication. By every metric, they should be humanity's greatest rival for planetary dominance. The hologram changed again. This time it showed a massive wolf-like creature. Then the image split to show the same creature, but thousands of cycles of selective breeding later, transformed into hundreds of different forms. Tiny versions small enough to fit in a human hand. Massive versions larger than most council members. Long-haired versions, short-haired versions, versions with pushed-in faces and versions with elongated snouts. They call them dogs, Vrek-9 said. Humans domesticated wolves approximately 15,000 solar cycles ago, and then spent the next millennia breeding them into over 300 distinct varieties for different purposes. Hunting companions. Guard animals. Rescue workers. Therapy assistants. Fashion accessories. And most commonly, emotional support providers. Emotional support, repeated Quilvan. From predators. Yes. Humans claim that these animals reduce their stress levels, provide unconditional affection, and improve their mental health. There are approximately 900 million dogs living in human care across their planet. General Thax finally found his voice again. Let me understand this correctly. Humans took the apex predators from their environment and turned them into friends. That is the most accurate summary, yes. And the predators just accepted this arrangement. More than accepted it. According to human research, both cats and dogs show significant attachment behaviors toward their human caretakers. Dogs, in particular, have evolved to understand human facial expressions and emotional states. They can interpret human pointing gestures, something that even human-raised primates struggle with. They have literally evolved cognitive abilities specifically to better understand humans. That is insane, muttered someone from the Outer Rim delegation. It gets worse, Vrek-9 continued, and several representatives made gestures of disbelief. We also found that humans have domesticated animals for food production, but they often become emotionally attached to those animals as well. They have domesticated birds of prey to hunt with them as partners. They have domesticated pack hunters to herd other domesticated animals. They have even domesticated insects to produce food for them. Vrek-9 pulled up one final image. It showed a human female sleeping in a bed, with a massive dog on one side and 3 cats draped across her legs. This, he said quietly, is what humans consider normal. They surround themselves with creatures that could kill them, and they call it family. High Chancellor Morvik slowly sat back down, his scales now a confused mixture of yellow and purple. What are your recommendations, Commander? Vrek-9's tentacles hung limply at his sides. Honestly, I recommend we avoid antagonizing these beings at all costs. Any species that looks at apex predators and thinks, I want to cuddle, that is not a species we should underestimate. They do not see danger the way we do. They see potential friends. And if they can turn predators into loyal companions, he did not need to finish the sentence. Every being in the council chamber understood the implication. Meeting adjourned, Morvik said weakly. I need to process this information. We all do. As the representatives filed out, Vrek-9 stared at the hologram still floating above the council floor. The human and her predators, all sleeping peacefully together, what kind of species does that? He thought, and more importantly, what else were humans capable of? 3 solar cycles after the initial council session, Commander Vrek-9 stood before the same assembly with an expression that could only be described as haunted. His tentacles twitched erratically, and his normally vibrant blue skin had faded to a pale grey. Esteemed members, he began, his voice barely steady, I have returned with the follow-up investigation results. I must warn you, what we discovered makes the initial report look almost reasonable by comparison. High Chancellor Morvik's scales immediately shifted to that now familiar anxious purple. Please tell me you are exaggerating, Commander. I wish I was. The holographic display activated, showing what appeared to be a massive serpent, easily 8 meters long, with scales that glistened and a body thick enough to crush a fully armored Antarian. Its mouth hung open, revealing fangs that dripped with what the display helpfully labeled as neurotoxic venom. This is a reticulated python. One of Earth's largest constrictor species. It kills prey by wrapping around them and suffocating them while simultaneously breaking their bones. A single specimen can easily overpower and consume prey twice its own weight. Ambassador Quilvan leaned forward, her voice tight. And the humans? Vrek-9 pressed a button. The image shifted to show a human teenager with the python draped around her shoulders like some kind of decorative scarf. The girl was smiling. The snake appeared to be sleeping. They keep them as pets. In their homes. They name them. This particular specimen is called Noodle. Noodle. General Thax sounded strangled. They named a killing machine Noodle. Humans have an interesting approach to naming deadly creatures. We found a venomous spider named Fluffy, an alligator named Cuddles, and a shark named Bob. A shark? Quilvan's crystalline eyes went wide. Please do not tell me, yes. Humans have facilities where they keep sharks in massive water tanks. They swim with them. They hand feed them. Some humans have even trained sharks to recognize individual humans and accept physical contact. They call it conservation. The hologram shifted rapidly through images now. Each one more baffling than the last. Humans swimming with creatures called crocodiles. Humans hand-feeding massive bears. Humans cuddling with animals labeled as wolves, foxes, and raccoons. Each predator looking surprisingly content in human company. But here is where our investigation took a truly disturbing turn, Vrek-9 continued. We decided to interview actual humans to understand their perspective. We spoke with a woman named Jennifer Park, age 32, occupation listed as wildlife rehabilitator. A video file began playing. A human female appeared, sitting in what looked like her dwelling. Behind her, visible through a window, several large predatory birds perched on stands. So yeah, Jennifer was saying in the recording, I have 3 hawks, 2 owls, and a falcon. People think it is crazy, but honestly, they are just like any other pet once you understand their body language and needs. The Antarian interviewer's voice came through, trembling noticeably. And they do not attack you. Jennifer laughed. Actually laughed. Attack me? No way. Athena, my biggest owl, she gets grumpy if I do not give her enough attention. She will puff up and turn her back to me. It is adorable. She called a predatory bird adorable, whispered someone in the council chamber. The video continued. I mean, sure, you have to be careful. They are wild animals at their core. But with proper respect and understanding, they are amazing companions. My falcon, Razor, he actually brings me gifts sometimes. Usually dead mice, which is gross, but it is sweet that he thinks of me. The video cut to another interview. This time a human male named Marcus Webb, who apparently worked at something called a zoo. People do not understand lions, Marcus was explaining while casually walking past an enclosure containing 4 massive lions, who watched him with clear recognition. They think because they are apex predators, they are just mindless killing machines. But they have personalities, preferences, moods. Simba over there, he loves having his mane scratched. Nala gets anxious during thunderstorms and needs reassurance. They are individuals. He named them after fictional lions from their entertainment media, Vrek-9 explained to the stunned council. This is common. Humans often name their predators after other, fictional predators. They find this amusing. The interviews continued. A woman who ran a sanctuary for rescued tigers. A man who rehabilitated injured wolves. A teenager who kept tarantulas as pets and described them as misunderstood and actually kind of shy. Misunderstood, General Thax repeated flatly. The predators are misunderstood. It gets stranger, Vrek-9 said, and multiple council members made gestures of despair. We discovered that humans actually feel guilty about their dominance over Earth's ecosystem. They have established protected zones where predators can live without human interference. They have breeding programs to save predators from extinction. They have laws protecting predators from harm. They protect the things that hunt them. Quilvan asked. Yes. And when predators do attack humans, which happens occasionally, the humans often defend the predator's right to exist. They say things like, we were in their territory, or, they were just being animals, or we need to coexist better. Ambassador Quilvan stood abruptly. Commander, are you seriously telling this council that humans get attacked by predators, and their response is to be more understanding toward the predators? That is exactly what I am telling you. In fact, we found documentation of a human male who was attacked by a bear while hiking. The bear mauled him severely. He required extensive medical intervention. When interviewed later, he stated, and I quote, I do not blame the bear at all. I startled her cubs. She was just being a good mother. I hope wildlife services do not punish her for defending her babies. The council chamber fell into stunned silence. Vrek-9 pulled up another file. But perhaps most disturbing is what we learned about human evolutionary history. We consulted with xenobiologists who specialize in human development. Do you know how humans became the dominant species on Earth? Superior intelligence, suggested Morvik hopefully. Partially. But mostly. Endurance and cooperation. Humans are persistence hunters. They do not have the speed of lions or the strength of bears. Instead, they simply keep going. They can run for hours, days even, tracking prey until the prey collapses from exhaustion. They evolved to sweat, which allows them to cool down while running, something most Earth predators cannot do efficiently. They literally chase their prey until it dies from exhaustion. That is horrifying, muttered someone from the back rows. Yes. But here is the interesting part. That same persistence and endurance applies to everything humans do, including domestication. They spent thousands of solar cycles selectively breeding wolves until they got dogs. They did not give up when early attempts were dangerous. They just kept trying, generation after generation, until they succeeded. And then they did it again with cats. And then with dozens of other species. Vrek-9 pulled up a new image. This one showed a human child, no more than 5 cycles old, sleeping with a dog larger than herself. The dog's paws were wrapped protectively around the child. This is what humans do. They take the most dangerous elements of their world and turn them into family. And the predators. They accept it. More than accept it. They bond with humans in ways they never bond with their own species. Dogs will literally die to protect their human families. Cats, despite being semi-independent, choose to stay with humans even when they could easily survive on their own. These predators have been changed, fundamentally, by human persistence and affection. General Thax stood slowly. What are the military implications of this information, Commander? Vrek-9's tentacles coiled tightly. Honestly. Terrifying. Think about it. Humans looked at apex predators and saw potential friends. They looked at dangerous environments and saw challenges to overcome. They fell from trees and broke their legs, so they invented medicine. They could not fly, so they built machines. They could not breathe underwater, so they created suits and submarines. They saw every obstacle as something to be solved through persistence and innovation. He paused, letting that sink in. Now imagine what they would do if they perceived us as a threat. They do not give up. They do not accept limitations. They turned wolves into companions and lions into house cats over thousands of cycles of patient, persistent effort. What could they do to us if they decided we were a problem to be solved? The silence in the council chamber was absolute. Moreover, Vrek-9 continued, humans form deep emotional attachments to other species. We have documented instances of humans risking their own lives to save animals. Entering burning structures to rescue cats. Diving into dangerous waters to save dogs. Confronting armed threats to protect even livestock animals. If they can love predators that deeply, imagine their capacity for loyalty to allies who actually cooperate with them willingly. Ambassador Quilvan spoke slowly, carefully. So your recommendation is? Friendship, Vrek-9 said simply. Absolute, unwavering friendship. Because if humans can turn apex predators into beloved companions through nothing but persistence and genuine affection, then I want to be their companion, not their problem. Any species that looks at a lion and thinks, I want a pet that is either insane or operating on a level of courage and determination we cannot comprehend. Possibly both. He pulled up one final image. It showed a human family. 2 adults, 3 children, 2 dogs, 4 cats, a rabbit, several birds, and what appeared to be a lizard of some kind. They were all together in a dwelling, looking at the camera device, and every single being in that image, predator and human alike, looked happy. This is humanity, Vrek-9 said quietly. They do not just survive alongside predators. They thrive with them. They love them. They build families that cross species boundaries. And if we are wise, we will accept their offer of friendship and hope they never decide to domesticate us too. High Chancellor Morvik stood, his scales now a resigned shade of blue. Motion to establish formal diplomatic relations with Earth, with an emphasis on cultural exchange and mutual cooperation. All in favor. Every single tentacle, limb, and appendage in the council chamber rose in agreement. Motion carried, Morvik said. Commander Vrek-9, please prepare a diplomatic delegation. And for the love of all that is sacred in this galaxy, tell them to bring gifts. What do humans like? Vrek-9 checked his data pad. According to our research. Pictures of baby animals. Apparently they find all juvenile creatures adorable, even predatory ones. Also, something called pizza. Pictures of baby predators and pizza, Morvik repeated slowly. Very well. Make it happen. And Commander. Yes, Chancellor. When you meet with them, try not to show fear. I suspect humans can sense it, much like their predators do. Vrek-9's tentacles trembled slightly. I will do my best, Chancellor. I will do my best. As the council adjourned, every representative was thinking the same thing. Humanity had looked at the most dangerous creatures on their planet and decided to make them into friends, and now, Whether the galaxy was ready or not, humanity was reaching for the stars. The only question remaining was whether they would try to domesticate the galaxy too. Vrek-9 suspected they absolutely would. And honestly, after seeing what they had accomplished with lions and wolves and bears, he was not sure anyone could stop them.